Welcome to our live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios right here in Bethel Park. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Chip Hayner's with me. Smoking Jim Frazier's here. And P.S. Tony at Chick-fil-A. We'll see what Smoking Jim has to say. He goes, Al, I hope you don't have to do any disclaimers. Smoking Jim got the email. I was looking at my red polo. I pulled green down. Because you know what Smoking Jim says. That's the early part of our show. Another little sidebar. We do a couple things off air. If you heard last week's show, you know I promised Smoking Jim pumpkin pie. And I forgot it. I ate it with my son last week, and I said to Drew, I'm going to buy him one next week. So before the show, I went to Eaton Park, got Smoking Jim pumpkin pie, and what did you think of it, Smoking Jim?
I tell you what, you white guys been holding back on us brothers, man.
Tony,
that was good.
Tony, disclaimer right off the bat. We didn't get 2 minutes into the show. The race card came out. But doesn't he look good in green? Look at that. And his belly's full of pumpkin pie. Well, we got lots of sports and other stuff, and who knows what Smoking Jim will say, so we'll just stay tuned to that. He's been in rare form the last month. I don't know what's going on, but we'll try to figure it out. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in the greater Pittsburgh area, all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and even Bethel Park here. And thanks for all the likes on our page. Our Facebook page hit a brand new high, 6,923 likes. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. I got some promos here. We got Connor with us. We got Nick, my KO alum. And we got Anthony doing whatever Smoking Jim says he does with perfect hair. So we'll figure that out. All right. Look at what Connor did. Unbelievable. Thank you, Connor. Olive Oil's Pizzeria was a sponsor with pizzas because of the COVID. And Smoking Jim coming in 2 minutes before we start. And we can't eat in the studio. They still sponsor us, but we don't eat their pizza. Go there, 412-831-1900. Give them a call. They got great Italian food, pizza, salads, you name it. And they even have Italian ice in the summertime. So check it out right at Hillcrest Shopping Center. All of you in Bethel Park know it. Other areas right on 88, and you can find it. Take care. Next up, Bethel Park Historical Society. They have the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. 1905 schoolhouse, been refurbished, remodeled, put a new roof on. The old bell from in front of the high school got readjusted to the cupola on the roof, so it's back at its home where it originated. There's a favorite tea shop there, Reginald's Coffee. They have great roasted coffee. They're open every day, so check them out. They have seats out there so you can sit outside, and I heard they're letting a few people in there. They even have Wi-Fi, so maybe I'll coerce Smoking Jim to buy me a little spot of green tea. We'll have to see what happens, but check them out. They're a nonprofit too. Check out the help that they need. If they do a lot of remodeling and refurbishing there, if they take volunteers, you could join the Bethel Park Historical Society. Just check them out. Tell Bill Haberther, who's in charge, that Al Levine, the Talking Machine, said there are openings for you. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Nice little shot there. That's Joey before DIPG and after DIPG was diagnosed with, that's a dreaded brain cancer. His family started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. It's a nonprofit, 501c3. You can donate money and time for their events. Hopefully with the COVID and the vaccines that things will get better towards the middle of the year or later, and some of their events can happen like their 5K 1 mile walk at the high school. So we'll stay tuned for more things from them, but that's the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Next up, Dave Cable likes to put a little fun at making fun of me. There's Al Levine, the Talking Machine, on Uncle Sam's body. Tell them Uncle Al sent you to be a volunteer at BPTV like Connor, like Nick, and like Anthony. So check it out. Give a call, 412-831-3304. Next up, the Bethel Park Community Foundation. has money for you. You can go to bpcf.org, get an application. They have from $100 to $5,000 for you. And 25 years of existence, I'm a trustee on the board, wasn't doing it all the time, but we've given out $1 million to help people in the community and all their different things that they do to make us a better community. So thank you very much there, and check them out, bpcf.org. Next up, we won't have you tune in on this, Connor, but Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station, 6103 Route 88, a red, white, and blue station, no gas pumps. They work on anything and everything that runs on gas. You name it, your car, your truck, your boat, your weed whacker, your
Provided it
lawnmower.
has gas in it, huh?
No, you don't even need to. He has gas. He has gas. Smoking Jim's cut it close a few times, so I'm sure he had to add gas for him. But they even work on electrical type devices, hedge trimmers, weed whackers, electric tools. So check that stuff out. Give them a call at 724-348-4715. Tell them Al Levine, the Talking Machine, said you want to go see the buffet on Monday. Every Monday they got a buffet from leftovers throughout the week, so check it out. Now he sponsors What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Right to the green
you
shirt.
got this season
Whoa.
Levine. Oh, I got it, I got it, I got
Good
it.
bounce.
I tell you what, man.
Oh.
You white
That's
guys,
all right.
you white guys are tough. Chip ain't got no socks on. Your feet don't get cold. My man Corner got shorts on in the winter. You guys are tough, man.
I got the polo on.
No, that's what happens when you eat a lot of pumpkin pie.
There you go, man. That pumpkin pie
For
was
years,
good.
for
I'ma be
years.
hooked on it. But I tell you what, man. I had to walk out of Planet Fitness today. Planet Fitness in Bethel Park.
They kick you out for not ever doing anything there.
Well, I'm doing my usual. I sit
Nothing.
at the table and
Yeah.
look at the yoga pants.
Of the guys. The guys are wearing
A
those
guy
yoga.
walks in, a young kid walks in, looked like he's about 17, 18 years old,
Okay.
with a Peters hockey shirt on, something
Yeah.
like Execute and Triumph. He looked like he was just brought in from Canada. I said, they're recruiting hockey players out of Canada now. He couldn't talk nothing but French. I said, man, I'm walking out and they're doing stuff illegally. But hey, I'm here to promote. I'm going to start promoting books I've never read. You know what I mean? Al Levine, the Talking Machine. I recommend this book for everybody.
I read
broke
it.
the seal.
Time
I
out.
have it.
I read it.
I have
I'm
it.
going to give it to Chip. I need it back from my library.
No, you keep it for your library. I already have a copy.
You have a copy.
Smoking
Good.
Jim, CTE has damaged you. Jim O'Brien, our friend of the show and a guest, great guest on the show, one of the best shows we had, was on there and gave that to you for me and Chip. I read it.
I gave it to
I
Chip.
have it. Yep, you gave me a copy
I
of that,
couldn't
and
remember
yeah,
that.
and I also bought a copy of his Chuck Noll book
Did you?
while he was on our show at the Steps.
Yes.
I tell you what, I can't leave anybody anything other than in my will other than the credit cards I couldn't pay off. But the one thing I'm gonna leave in my will, people have sent me over 1,000 sports books over the years.
I got to see a
So my
picture of it.
sports
Hold it.
library-
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I can will somebody's gonna get my sports library. Maybe 20 people get 50 books each or something like that. I've never read it. I almost broke the seal on this one. This looks like it's good. I recommend everybody to read
It is good.
So every week I think I'm gonna bring in a book that I haven't read to recommend. for
Here's
people
what I
to read.
recommend. Leave them. We have a library upstairs.
No.
You could donate
No.
them to the
No,
library.
I got my own library. I got people that want it after I'm dead and gone.
I
That's
heard-
gonna be my legacy.
I heard your library has books and all these sweetie pictures. The half-naked girls, you get pictures from them all. We love you, Smoking Jim. Thanks for being so nice.
I got over 100 of those.
Only 100.
Yeah, and I'm getting 2 more tomorrow when I go to Johnstown to see our girl London.
I knew you were going to see London.
But
She keeps liking all my stuff, so
she's a sweetheart.
I never met her.
Oh, is she built like a brick house.
She's like Snow. I never met Snow.
Yeah. When you half Indian and half black, you know you built, man. She's put together. She got the high cheekbones, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. That's why I'm going to Johnstown.
I hope
Early.
it's a good business meeting.
Yeah. I told her, find me a Greek restaurant with real Greeks making the gyros. I'm tired of going into Arby's and have some black guys making gyros.
You're kidding.
that ain't authentic. Going to an Italian restaurant and you got everybody but Italians making your spaghetti. That ain't good.
My man, I was eating gyros back in the 70s. They had
From a-
gyro
from a Greek
shops
guy? Greek guy?
in Pittsburgh.
Where at? Because I want.
It was like Tony's Gyro Shop back then, and now
gotta
there's a
find
Mike
it.
and
I
Tony
wanna
that
find
do it, and
that one boxer. He had his own shop. Where's
Yes.
that at? I gotta find that.
that one closed down.
But real quick, I gotta
There's
get the
one
chip.
right down across the street from the new Peters Township High School.
Can you promise me there's a Greek cooking?
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't want no black guy back there making no gyro for me.
Smoking Jim, I just can't believe you're prejudiced like that.
If it's fried chicken, I want a brother.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you'll have me cook fish for you.
Yeah, there you go. That's true. But hey, real quick, hey,
What?
Al Levine, the talking machine,
Yeah.
Chip. I told you guys a long time ago, the Steelers can't stop the pass. The Steelers are now playing for a wild card. Cleveland is hot right now. Cleveland's only lost 3 games. So Pittsburgh's going to get beat by Buffalo. Maybe Indy, Cleveland's going to beat them. So they're playing for a wild card team right now. They were sloppy all year long. I told you guys the formula for a great player. A black player with all white friends. What's the first thing the Steelers do? They take Chase Claypool and give him the juju. Now he's making more videos on TikTok than juju. All they care about is dancing and dropping passes. They're sloppy.
They're good at
football-
it.
They're a sloppy football team right now. 53 passes, only 14 running plays. You're not going to win football games like that. Washington's a horrible team. We all know right now that the comeback player of the year ain't Big Ben. You know, it's the quarterback for the Washington Redskins. MVP ain't going to be Big Ben. Your Mike Tomlin ain't getting
You mean
coach
the
of the year.
Washington football team?
What did I call him?
What you shouldn't have.
Oh, my fault to all my Blackfoot Indians out there. They get mad. They get mad every time I say something. I apologize. It was a slip of the tongue.
You sound like Chris Collinsworth.
Who?
Chris Collinsworth.
But hey, lastly, Al Levine, the talking machine. Coach Mike Tomlin, as usual, lost the team in December. You know what I mean? This is a guy that when Big Ben retires, who's the head coach of the football team, Mike Tomlin ought to retire too. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going the other way. They're just a sloppy football team, make mistakes all year and an easy schedule. And that's what's on my mind, and you know it's true.
I got to do the disclaimer like Smoking Jim with sports. Once one of our teams loses, they're never going to win again. He's like a true Steeler fan. And we'll get the Chip to correct some of this, but you know, Smoking Jim's a great entertainer, and it's a shame CTE damaged him. He gave us those great books. I read it. It's a great 600-page book.
Oof.
I recommend it highly. It'll take you 30 years to finish
Oh,
it.
you
but
ain't lying, man.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Well, all it took was 13 weeks for Jim to finally get his wish. A
Yeah.
reason to criticize the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, you know, just like the rest of the panicked public,
Yeah.
remain calm. That actually, what happened last night was the best thing that could have happened to this Pittsburgh Steelers team. They got exposed last night. Their short passing game was jumped by the Washington Redskins. They had their linebackers dropping back because they didn't have to respect the run. They had their safeties coming in because they don't have to respect the threat of the deep ball. It's very simple what the Steelers need to do to correct the problems that they have. These problems are going to be corrected, and the next victim, of course, is going to be the Buffalo Bills. And if anybody thinks that the Cleveland Clowns are going to do anything come close to dominate anybody, let's not forget they lost 38-3 against the Steelers when they played earlier this season. And yes, Baker Mayfield may have had the first half of his lifetime last Sunday, but he laid in an egg in the second half of the game because they were ahead 38-7 in the first half. and they got outscored 28-3 in the second half. That is not a team that's up and coming.
Hey, Chip.
That is a team that can be had.
Chip, I
So-
got to interrupt you. How did Smoking Jim miss that when we saw that?
Well, because he looks for the dark lining in
Thank
every
you.
silver cloud.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to help
so
you out.
anyhow, my point being, the Steelers' problems, there are many. They are all easily fixed, and and I believe that the Steelers will get them corrected, and that's what's on my mind.
Thank you, Chip. I got a similar thing on my mind too, because seeing the Steelers lose, I thought they weren't going to go undefeated the whole year. I was hopeful, but like I said, they could have lost in years past. They would have lost 3 or 4 games this year. They did not, due to good play.
What about the Patriots in 2007? They
Ah.
didn't lose until the Super Bowl, so their season meant nothing because they didn't win a championship.
And wait,
I'm glad the Steelers didn't wait for that.
yeah, but who's the greatest quarterback in all time? And it happened with that team,
Oh, there you go.
right? They had the greatest quarterback. You talk about Ben being the greatest ever. So it happens. And what do you have to do to win? Play better. That's how simple it is. When you're only playing a half of a game each week, how can you keep winning? It's a matter of time. It catches up with you. Like Smoking Jim, when you were fast and young, didn't you have to run to stay in shape?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if you're not doing that, what happens? You may lose that half a step or 2 steps. So that's what happens. Will we go to the Super Bowl? I don't know. I still think we have a good chance. I think with some injuries we can overcome it because we do have a deep staff of players and coaches that know what we're doing. We have many guys that are replacing these injured guys. Look at Watt stepped up and played a better game than normal. And Smoking Jim says he's the best ever linebacker.
Okay,
He's working
let me
towards it.
Pose a question to my friend Jim.
Go ahead.
Is T.J. Watt NFL Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, being that the NFL is 80% black and they don't vote for Ben for MVP,
They
if
don't
the
vote for
brothers-
Renz,
if
not
the-
because of his
If the
color.
brothers vote for him over Aaron Donald, who is black, then he should. He got my vote. But you don't know what the 80%
But the reason
of the
people
black
don't
folks is
vote for
gonna
Ben
do.
is not because of the color of his skin.
Huh?
It's the quality of his character is the reason they don't vote for him.
Yeah. His reputation preceded him then, and it precedes him now on everything.
All I say is this: the Steelers had their chance, and I'll get back to LV.
Yeah.
All they had to do was keep Chase Claypool away from the black players.
Okay.
That locker room is toxic. All they had to do was let him live. Hey, they should have kept Ryan Shazier on the team, McDonald on the team, so he had somebody hang out. Let him live with Ben. Ben ain't at his house 98% of the time. His wife would enjoy a man around the house every now and again to do some chores. Don't you agree? That's all they had to do. They ruined the kid. They ruined the kid.
So much for the fiction part of Jim's.
You've never seen
Well,
him do
we didn't get to
TikTok
that
and
yet,
know
but
that.
we're getting
We're so
there.
far to the fiction part of Jim's rant.
Yes, we'll get to that a
His
little
wife
bit later.
would love to have a man around the house for a change.
Wow. I forgot where I was even going to go, but don't lose the faith, Steeler fans. Don't believe everything Smoking Jim says. Always have a mouthful of salt so you don't believe it all, because I told you, he's entertaining. I'm entertained right now, but stay vigilant, Steeler fans, and watch the players. They're all NFL players. It means they're the best players in the country, even the worst team like the Jets. Look, they even lost on purpose at the end, and a coach got fired. So go figure that out. So we got all our coaches. We got most of our players except for the ill ones, and we'll see what happens with Buffalo. I say we beat Buffalo. Have no fear. We'll be back with some fiction and fact. More of it from Smoking Jim Frazier.
Steelers show blitz. He throws the pass up. It's going to be picked up. James Harrison has it. He's running up the sideline. 25.
So many times people come up to me and they'll be like, Amy, why do you volunteer for Bethel Park TV?
The best thing about working at BPTV is I get to go out and explore the community.
You come up and you talk about things that you love and things that you want to share.
Everybody has something different to bring to the table. What do you have to bring to the table?
when you say, how can I give back? How can I give back? How can I give back? Who would I donate to? It's not always about money. It's about time.
Put forth your story, tell your tale to Bethel Park TV.
It's just opens your mind to so many different things.
I absolutely love it with my heart, with my soul, because I know what it does for the residents of Bethel Park.
Please come up and visit.
Come on out to Bethel Park. We're here, and we're welcoming you with open arms. Come on out and share with us.
KISS. Amid overwhelming pandemic news, there is hope for patients fighting COVID-19. Plasma, donated by people recovered from the coronavirus, contains antibodies that can give an extra boost to patients who are currently being treated. Vitalant is testing all blood donations for these antibodies. We're identifying people who could help COVID-19 patients by donating plasma. Schedule your appointment to save lives at vitalant.org/antibody test.
He throws the pass up. It's going to be picked up. James Harrison has it. He's running up the sideline. 25-30.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Thanks, Chip Hayner. My man, Connor, my favorite soccer player. We're going to go see some soccer games next year, COVID or not.
He plays when we're here.
And got my man, Nick at Night, in the control room, along with Anthony, whose hair is never out of place on the ones and twos, making us look good. Fiction and facts, I'm going to go quick because I want to get to Chipper. But I tell you what, it was some years ago, it was the last round ball game.
Whoa.
You talk about talent. The round ball used to be the best players in the state of Pennsylvania.
I went to those games.
Versus the best players in the world. The last one had Jelly Bean Bryant's son, Kobe, on there. And I thought about Kobe because his gloves was used by Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, 8 and 24.
With Snoop Dogg bringing the color for the fights. But before the fights, they are all in Mike Tyson's dressing room getting high. I don't know if you guys seen it. They're smoking and getting high before the fight. That's bad for kids. That's a bad image for the kids, man. So Wiz Khalifa was there. Man, they was past. Man, that blunt must have been this big, brother. They had to use two hands to pass that bad boy around. And I tell you what, Wiz Khalifa, he represented Pittsburgh very well.
Right.
He didn't take a backseat to Snoop when he's smoking that blunt. But anyhow, Tyson did a good job too before the fight. But Kobe, his last game,
Yeah.
high school game, his dad was the assistant coach at LaSalle only because they wanted to recruit his son, Jelly Bean Bryant. So it was between going to LaSalle or going to the NBA. And I always said, you know, even though I played football,
Yeah.
and I didn't get the same idea that somebody could go from high school to in football. And I played baseball. I never got that idea that they could do that. But in basketball, I always thought these guys could step right into the NBA. Kobe was a face in the crowd during the round ball game. He didn't win the slam dunk.
Wow.
He was a face in the crowd, and I was begging him from Peanut Heaven, don't go to college. And the next day he announced that he was going to the NBA. And I tell you what, I was very scared because you can't go back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kobe went on and became not only a star, but a superstar, maybe one of the greatest of all time. And he was only a face in the crowd at the last round ball game here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I would love to have those boxing gloves that Iron Mike Tyson.
Didn't they
and
donate
Roy-
them to charity or somebody bought
Well, Tommy Yankello got a pair.
Yeah,
you know,
I
he
saw
ain't giving
that.
nothing to charity. Charity started home with the Yankellos. Tommy Yankello ain't gave nothing up, brother.
them? You don't know.
You know.
He does nice things in the community. He helps out, takes these kids off the streets, definitely.
And they're in El Equipa. Saturday night I was in a bar in El Equipa.
What was her name?
Met some young ladies there.
How'd I know?
Came out, many cars was shot up, and I had a hole in my driver's side door. Had I been sitting in there,
Yeah.
I would have probably gotten shot. But how do you fix? Can Skeets fix a hole
Yeah.
in the door? I need a. I got a hole.
No, well-
I called the police. Right. It took them so long because the El Equipa police is on the take. So a brother showed up. He got jewelry all on. I'm like, no, I called the police. He said, I am the police. But they found the bullet. It went in the door. He had to break the one panel down, and they found the bullet inside there.
Good.
And it took me forever. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get out of El Equipa.
Right.
But they had to put, the markings and things. But they had all kind. It was like they was using numbers and letters, so it had to be over 20 shells out there somewhere.
Wow.
So luckily I could drive home. I put a little piece of tape on it. I'm pretty good at that.
Are you?
I put a little tape on there that covered the hole. It was great. I ain't have no black tape. It's great. So if you see a little piece of gray.
Somebody told me white.
Yeah.
yeah. But the police put like a couple white stickers there to mark where the hole was. Then when the news came, I said, I got to get out of here. Brother.
Wow.
I'm supposed to be a new kid. Don't take my picture, bro.
What's her name in New Ken?
But that's the fiction and facts, brother. Got a hole in my car in El Equipa.
Hey, on this, Anthony or Tony from Chick-fil-A goes, disclaimer, smoking Jim on black players, LOL, since Chip is a Pirate fan and I grew up liking Barry Bonds. Chip, do you think Bonds will ever be in the Hall of Fame?
No, I do not.
Yes. And Tony, in answer to that, anybody that rubs clear on them and doesn't know what's in it, think about these athletes. They know everything they eat, work out, and do all that stuff. I have his rookie card. He was 176 pounds. By the time he was done taking the clear, his head got to be as big as a basketball, and he was 220 pounds. So I leave it up to you. If you're a steroid user, you're not getting in, and they're keeping him out. He won't get in.
R.I.P. Dickie Allen. Chip told me Dickie Allen was a pretty good one, and my dad said he was good
I will
too.
touch on that in a minute.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I will touch on that in a minute.
All right, thank you, Smoking Jim, on the fiction and fact.
Well, good evening, everybody. And Jim kind of like stole my thunder a little bit. He's stealing my lead, but that's okay. He's he's a good old egg. But once again, another one of the great baseball players that I watched and idolized
Me too.
as a young man. Well, as a child. Dick Allen passed away this past week on December 7th. And Dick Allen was, just to break down his career highlights, he was a 7-time All-Star. He was the 1972 American League MVP. He was the National League Rookie of the Year in 1964.
You never heard of
He
him.
was a 2-time American League home run leader in 1972, 1974. He was the American League RBI leader in 1972. That would have been the same year that he won the MVP. The Philadelphia Phillies have retired as number 15. And speaking, one of our loyal listeners
Yeah,
brought up
Tony.
a question about Barry Bonds making it into the Hall of Fame, and my thoughts on this have been well documented. I don't believe that Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame, nor Roger Clemens or any of the other steroid abusers. Same thing with Pete Rose, because he's a degenerate gambler. But there are people that should be in the Hall of Fame, and they're starting to pass away now, and actually they should be. I'll bring up 3 names real quickly that I feel that should have been in the Hall of Fame. Dick Allen is one of them.
Whoa.
Al Oliver is another
Yes.
one. Dave Parker is a third. Now, Dave Parker
I've been
was
saying
tainted
it.
by the drug trials in Pittsburgh in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's probably hindered his ability to get into the Hall of Fame. But if you look at his body of work, That's Hall of Fame caliber material, and but that's that. Now, next thing I want to touch on, and I was in contact with my dear friend Jim over the weekend because
Whoa.
on Friday of last week, Mike White, who is the Post-Gazette's
High school sports guy.
high school sports guy, he put out a list of the all-time fabulous 22, which, you know, every year in the Post-Gazette they post the fabulous 22 of the best 22 football players from Western Pennsylvania. And he came up with a list, which I'm scrolling through to get to right now, and I want to go over this with Jim. And I looked at the list, and the question I had immediately was, did these players get chosen for this list because of their high school performance, or was it a result of their professional performance? And what happened to the list? Oh man!
Take your time.
This is Fridays, right?
Long as Bill Fralick is number one, the list starts off good.
Oh, no.
Bill
Try again. Pull it up, Chip.
Bill Fralick went to a high school near Gateway.
Bear with me. Where did that go?
Yeah, but Dick Allen, Smoking Jim, was one of my favorite players.
Never heard of him.
Great player.
My dad said he had forearms like that.
He was just
Popeye forearms.
Yeah.
Okay, the all-time fabulous 22. Okay, so the number one player they picked for the all-time fabulous 22 was Bill Fralick at Hills 1980.
I like that.
Number 2, LeVar Arrington out of the North Hills.
Ain't bad. Ain't bad.
So
two good ones.
Number 3, Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
No, 2-star recruit. Get out of here.
Okay, and now this is the reason why. Here's the NFL. This is somebody who I think, as a 2-time NFL Player of the Year, got rated. Number 4, Darrelle Revis, Aliquippa, 2003. Number 5, and I'm sure you'll agree with this one, Jim Terrell Pryor.
Oh.
Great, one of the greatest high school athletes we've ever seen.
Yeah, should be higher.
As a professional, when he went to Ohio State, not
Tat,
so much.
tat time. Tat and caddies.
Number 6, another one of Jim's favorite. He'd have to agree with this one. Curtis Martin from Alderdice.
Oh, no way. He should be on
Number
there.
7, Ty Law from Aliquippa.
Yeah, he was good.
Okay. Number 8, Tyler Boyd from Clareton. I think that he would belong there.
Yeah.
I mean,
43-0 in high school.
Number 9, Sean Gilbert from Aliquippa.
Yeah.
Number 10, Sean Lee from Upper St. Clair.
I like that pick.
I saw him play against Bethel
Number
Park.
11, another Western Pennsylvania linebacker, Paul Posluszny.
He was a beast. He should be higher than
Number
Sean
12,
Lee.
from a small high school, Brian Davis, Washington running
He could
back.
do it. He could do it all but study.
Brandon Short from McKeesport, outside
Yeah, he was a
linebacker,
beast.
93,
He was a
94.
beast. He was a beast.
Steve Breston out of Woodland
Yeah,
Hills in 2001.
Fast, man. Fast.
Major Harris out of Brashear.
He got to be on that list.
Number
He's
15.
on it.
Number 16, Phil Jakovic. From
Yeah,
Pine Ridge.
yeah. I ain't got no problem
Number
with that.
17, and this one has to be on his professional, Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, come on.
Played 1 year at Woodland Hills. He had, 8 receptions?
8 receptions.
How does that put him on the fabulous all-time?
He
fabulous
caught him.
22 list?
He caught him. That's why.
Number 18 out of West Allegheny, Tyler Palco.
Yeah. Defense and offense, he was
Number
great.
19 out of Central Catholic, Mark Bolger.
No way.
Okay, number 20. We were talking about this one earlier. Russell Shell out of Hopewell High School.
He had to be on. He should be number 2.
No, number 21, Jeff Christie out of Freeport.
Anybody out of Freeport other than Jimbo Covert, I ain't
Whoa.
putting on. But Christie was good. He ain't got no business on that list.
And number 22, Mark Kelso out of the North Hills, 1980. Now, the thing about this
He was
list,
pretty
notice
good.
that Dan Marino
Kelso
is
was
missing
pretty
off
good.
the list. But the Fabulous 22 they did not start selecting those till 1980.
Yeah.
So this list is high school players from 1980 on. And there's another list that's out there that is
Well, before
different
you
from
go to
this.
the other list, the guy that got to be in the top 5, if not number 2 behind Fralick, and he graduated in 1980, Dwight Collins. All-American football, All-American basketball, and he was a state champion in track, and they say his best sport was baseball.
That's a great choice.
How can you not be on that
I
list?
remember him, yes.
So, I guess, I wanted to talk to Jim about this list because if anybody, from his years as a scout,
Yeah.
judging talent, whether it's college, high school, whatever, I wanted to hear what your thoughts were and how, of the 22 on that list, how many do you think were on there simply because of their professional careers?
I
instead of
counted
their high
about at least 6. And how does Curtis Bray from Gateway not make it? He was the National Player of the Year
Yeah.
So
in
you're
high
saying
school.
there's a gateway bias?
There's a Gateway by Bob Bukowski is not on the list. Bob Bukowski was All-State in football, and he held the shot put track record for years. Now, he was lazy. First-round draft choice to the Raiders. He was lazy.
You told us a story about him.
Yeah, the karma hit him because as soon as he got drafted, his girlfriend from 7th grade all the way through college, he announced when the Raiders picked him, he said, "I'm single now." Broke her heart, and he's been going downhill ever since. And rest in peace, Bob Bukowski.
I know, you
But
just told us when he
used to
died.
throw the shot put one time, and
So,
And
is
be a
there-
record.
Is there anybody else that you think that is not on the list that should be?
how can Terry Smith from Gateway not be on that list, man?
Bias.
How in the
There's
world?
bias.
How
Bias.
can Eric, the middle linebacker for North Hills when they was number 1 in
Kasarovich.
Yes, how can he not
He's
be
the
on the
head
list?
coach at Pine Richland now, isn't he? Is he not?
Well, that's
think-
all they got is coaches down there, man. They got every ex great white player in the history. The kicker, the punter for the Steelers is a coach there. Who's that? Not Norm Johnson. Who was the punter? Funny guy for the Steelers. Good
Josh
punter.
Miller.
Josh Miller's one of the coaches. They got about 20-something coaches. The head
Wow.
coach is great, but all of them were legends. Come on, man.
Well, how they doing, though?
Paying them with the boosters.
You know what that's like from Gateway history.
Yeah, but we pay the players.
No, you didn't.
We don't pay the coaches, man.
No, you-
Anybody can coach that talent.
Chip, you're not getting straight answers here, buddy.
No, but so that's what I wanted to touch on was the fabulous 22 list. I kind of looked at the list and it made me scratch my head because I'm not as the one that stood out to me was Curtis Bray. And,
Yeah.
Because of Jim's passion for Gateway, and I do remember that in the mid '80s he was,
Oh, yeah.
he
Beast.
was all that and
He was a
about
beast.
and how does he not make the list?
Yeah, when you're number 1 in the nation, that the list ought to start with that and work its way down.
Well,
You know,
if you were
Fralick
on
was
that,
number
if you were
one.
on that committee, you may not put certain people on there anyhow.
Well,
so.
first of all, I took Curtis Martin out of there,
There's my point.
unless he greased my pocket.
Well, you said
Dorn
he got,
Dickerson
he
is
only
on
got
some of
one
those
letter,
lists.
and that was in football.
Yeah, that was it. He only
But that
played.
that's what the list was a football list.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
year. Some of these guys play 4 years.
Yeah,
He
well,
played 1 year.
Gronkowski, what about those 8
Yeah,
catches?
8 catches. Yeah, he was a better defensive player in high school than offense. But
Who knew? Who knew?
But that's Mike White for you. That's Mike White for you.
He's had that job for 30, 40 years now.
Yeah.
He's comfortable.
My lists are unbiased.
No. You just brag about being an honest man. There he goes again. Don't trust the honest man. He's not honest.
But Tommy Flynn, how can Tommy Flynn not be on
Oh.
there? He went to a school near Gateway.
Yeah.
Tommy Flynn might have
Vanderbilt?
been. Yeah, Tommy Flynn might have been the best all-around athlete ever to play football.
Wow.
I mean, running back, quarterback, wide receiver, he could do it all, defensive back, punt return. Hey, when's the last time you seen a white guy pull away from Florida State on a punt return?
Yeah.
That's Tommy
The
Flynn.
Kamikaze Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy Flynn was just great, man. Just great.
Hey, the Kamikaze Kid liked my meal the other night on my ahi tuna, and he goes, "You should open up a restaurant."
Who said that?
Kamikaze Kid.
Yeah.
I told him Uncle Al would give him a free meal if I opened one, because he would call everybody Uncle Al or Uncle this, and he goes, "Merry Christmas." So
They say him and his brother were great players.
Yeah.
Great players.
his poor brother Monk died.
Yeah.
Sad.
He lived a great life, though.
Oh yeah,
Great life.
definitely, no doubt, a voice from the past. Well, Chip, thank you for that, and we'll move on. on location. It's called the lack of on location. Due to the raging coronavirus sickness that Smoking Jim doesn't believe in, and the death rates are now over 283,000, it's not a hoax. We're wearing masks. We're in the BPTV studios. We're trying to stay safe and healthy. Just be kind and have some common sense, unlike Smoking Jim. All right, please. But on location, we'd like to do it. I was at Azazu, got my hair cut by Mary Ann, saw the owner, Emilio, and he goes, "Hey, Al, it's been a tough year. We were supposed to do that show at my place come April or May, and look what happened with COVID. We got shut down." He goes, "When we get out of this, you're going to have a Pittsburgh Sportsline show in my place." So you get me getting a haircut and doing interviews of the employees, and maybe even getting a few sports people like Smoking Jim there, because they have a lot of pretty women that cut hair. So
Yes!
that's a potential. I wanted to share that to tease Smoking Jim, to feed his fiction and fact. But this was the fact, okay? No fiction to my stories there. And that's all I have for you on location. If you have any ideas with teams or sports or interviews that you want to do, maybe we can do some Zoom interviews or something, and we'll look into doing that for the future. So we'll come back and we're going to talk some Steelers. We gave you a couple tidbits on it already, but we got more Steeler talk.
And his pass is broken up by Tatum. Tipped off! Daniel Harris has it!
Bethel Park Inline Hockey. It's fast, it's fun, and we want you to play. Inline hockey is just like ice hockey, but no ice, and significantly less expensive and far less of a time commitment. Way less travel than ice hockey, too. The sport is played on a specialized rink at the Bridgeville Rollerplex, RMU Island Sports Complex, Harmerville's Alpha Arena, Hot Shots Indoor Sports Arena, and the Murraysville Sports Zone. Our teams play in the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Roller Hockey League, or the PIRHL. Each year, teams from elementary, middle, and high school play a 16-game schedule, plus playoffs, from October through March. Practice one evening a week and games on Saturdays or Sundays. The sport is recognized by the Bethel Park School District, which means student athletes can earn a letter once they reach high school. We play rivals such as Upper St. Clair, Peters Township, Canemak, Pine Richland, North Hills, and so many more. This is no pickup game. You'll need regulation pads, hockey skates, helmets, and the coolest Hawks uniforms around. 2 refs at every game officiate 3 15-minute periods with a running clock. No icing, no offsides, no checking. But this sport will rock you. Registration is coming up, so check out our website at www.bpinlinehockey.com and sign up soon. Let's play!
And his pass is broken up by Tatum. Tipped off! Daniel Harris has it!
We're back. All right, this is a live show. Sometimes we have a little faux pas here. Steeler talk. I'm all in with the Steelers still. I think they can come back. Smoking Jim disagrees. He thinks their season's done. Chip's with me. Wait and see.
But I do have to agree with Smoking Jim
Okay.
about some things about the Steelers. Throwing the ball 50-some times a game and running the ball 14 times a game is not a recipe for success.
Where's the balance?
The reason why I said the best thing that could have happened to the Steelers was them to lose the game the way they did, because you know what? They were getting a little too complacent. Ben is not going to change. He's going to continue throwing those 3-yard passes. And I'm sorry, you've got to have some respect for the running game, because that's what keeps the linebackers in the box, closer to the line. That opens up the middle of the field. And if your safeties are able to cheat in because they're not worried about a deep pass, they're going to shut down your short passing game. So what Ben has got to do, and the ones that I hold most at fault here, you got 3 offensive linemen, okay? Now, Ponce didn't play last night, but they made the Pro Bowl last year. And you're telling me they can't get 1 yard on 6 tries? If you can't get 6 yards on 1 try, you do not deserve to win.
I got to interrupt.
Not even in high school football.
I got to interrupt you on this. Big Ben's 6'5", from 230 to 280. They say maybe 250. If I was a center, my quarterback was about 6'3", we would do a sneak, because even if he falls down, he's going to go a yard.
But
Why not that?
You know, the offensive
Why?
line is getting all this praise for keeping Ben from getting
Safe.
sacked.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why Ben's getting sacked is because 0.3 of a second the ball's out of his hand. Okay.
2.3.
So you know, is that a product of how well their pass blocking, or how quickly he's getting rid of the ball? Now,
He's
a
leading in-
offensive line, they run block, and you notice that whenever they get the ball, the offensive line is getting pushed around.
Yeah.
See, so these are things that can be fixed, okay? And the Steelers have to be able to run the ball when they have to.
Yeah.
And if the other team's defense doesn't respect the fact, you know, whatever happened to a play action pass? I don't care how long you've been playing football.
Where'd that go?
That works all the time.
What happened
that
to
has
it?
worked in every single decade. You fake the run, you fake the run, you throw back, and you go deep.
And now they call it RPO.
Well, and here's the thing. You know, the Steelers have a deep threat in Chase Claypool. There
Yeah.
isn't a receiver in the league that's got more pass interference penalties than he.
Oh, yeah.
Juju is a good mid-range receiver, and he can make some yardage after. Deontay Johnson's a good slot receiver, but I can tell you this. He drops a couple of passes on Sunday on the bench. You're not playing another down, because I'm telling you right now, and Eric Ebron might get 14 targets, and he's going to drop 8 of them. If he continues to drop passes, Vance McDonald's my starting tight end.
Right.
It's just that simple, because the only way these guys are going to learn is if there is some accountability for their actions.
Oh, yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong? But all these things
Are
can be
fixable,
fixed.
yeah.
The Steelers defense played well enough to win that game last
Yeah.
night. For the most part, okay, Spillane went down, knee injury. It's probably not going to need surgery. I don't know if he'll play on Sunday.
He's tough.
Joe Hayden, concussed.
Yeah.
So he's in a concussion protocol. Steve Nelson is on his way back, should be able to play this weekend. So
Right.
Marquise Pouncey and James Conner are off the COVID list and now should be able to play on Sunday. So there is reason for some optimism. But if the Steelers go out there and throw 50 to 60 passes again next week and against any of their future opponents, they're not going to win. And that's just that simple. Ben is a better quarterback when he throws 20 to 30 times than when he throws between 40 and 60.
Well, that's the history. That's the history. They got away from the balance. You know, look what happened from Game 7 on. There was no more balance.
And, you know, and it almost looked like the Redskins knew what the plays the Steelers were going to call last night.
What you call them?
The Washington football
Okay,
team. I stand corrected.
That's okay.
My
But
Blackfoot Indian friends, that was him this time.
No, and I will tell you this, it did, because the Steelers' offense has become predictable.
Sure.
And that's the worst thing that you could have happen to your team.
Well, I got to agree again with my main man, Chip. The Steelers got all these players coming back. Pouncey, Corners, they still going to get beat. That's a sloppy football team. I agree with Chip again. This Pittsburgh Steelers can fix their running game by bringing in Rush Grimm or Mike Munchak and getting rid of that coffee boy, Mike Munchak's coffee boy. That's the offensive line coach. The next time Mike Tomlin stands like this and let the team throw for 50, what does he do? What does he do? He doesn't do anything. He stands there the whole game like this. He doesn't even got his headsets on. It's a terrible coaching job. It's a sloppy team. They played all backup quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, teams that don't know how to win, inexperienced teams. They had the easiest schedule this side of the Harlem Globetrotters. They up 14 points. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 78-1 when they got a 14-point lead at home and they got beat. That's all on that team. All that talent, all that ability.
Jim,
Big Ben does what he wants to do because he got an offensive coordinator that's afraid of him. That's the head coach, Big Ben.
It is one loss out of 16 games.
Second one's coming.
When it does,
Third one's
well,
coming
you know
against
what,
Cleveland.
because you're a
You think they can beat Indy?
because you're a betting man is the reason why I believe you're wrong, because you haven't bet right in over 10 days.
I've been on a bad streak. Give me some of that money, brother, so I can flip it for you.
Every single bet that I've talked to Jim about in the last 10 days that he's put up, he's lost.
No money.
So, you know,
I have
let
been
me tell you something
cold.
about this big fad now with betting on football, and everybody thinks they're geniuses, and they listen to all these experts. Since the Steelers were winning Super Bowls in the 70s, the Steelers were a lousy team to bet on.
Point
Because
spread.
the Steelers would win the game but never cover the spread.
Yeah.
Okay? And that has been consistent for as long as the Steelers have been a winning football team. So anybody that ever takes the Steelers in the points, you're going to lose more often
I make a
than
lot
win.
of money on college basketball, so I'm just getting more involved.
I Duke. I was Duke.
Duke,
I was
How
Duke.
can Duke lose to Michigan State, man?
They did. I watched the game.
Oh, and I got people looking for me in parking lots, bro. My bookie probably put that bullet through my car. In El Equipa. I'm hiding out in El Equipa. They still found me.
Crazies weren't there, that's why. Okay?
Yeah.
They played,
Yeah.
If they played in an empty stadium.
Good point. Good
Yeah.
point.
And
No.
speaking of playing in empty stadiums, Pitt tomorrow night's going to be playing Northwestern.
Wow.
And
Ooh.
at Northwestern with the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
What is that?
Oh, and speaking of the ACC Big Ten Challenge, Jim Harbaugh figured out how not to get fired by losing to Ohio State
I love it.
for the 6th year in a row, because the Ohio State-Michigan game has been canceled this weekend. The first time in over 100 years this game has not been played.
Wow. What a genius.
Well, you know what? I expect him to be coaching somebody like the New York Jets next year.
Wow.
But I tell you what, the Big Ten said you cannot go in advance unless you played at
6.
least 5 or 6 games.
6.
So by Harbaugh pulling out, Ohio State should be out. They amended it.
Yeah.
Now they're going
When
to let
did they
Ohio
amend
State.
it?
They amended it.
No, they
I
were
haven't
they
read
were
that yet.
talking
Yeah.
about amending it
They're
to 5
talking about
games.
it. That just
They
goes
did.
to show
They
you
amended it.
That, well, you know, how is it that we can
They
change
amended
the
it on
rules?
my phone. It might not have hit your phone yet.
Let's check phones.
How
Wait.
about this one? Des Bryant has COVID-19.
No, we need him tonight.
Well, you don't have him.
I think Dallas is going to win that game.
So that being said, if Ohio State is not eligible to play for the Big Ten championship, then they're not eligible to play for the college football championship.
Right.
Which means now that what are they going to do? Are they going to
Oh.
change the rules now for the money, or are they worried about the safety of players? Because how do you change the rules for one team
Yeah.
and not
Good
change
point.
them for everybody?
Good point.
Money. Just
Yeah.
look at the NFL. Go with the money.
It's
But I like, you guys are such great athletes. I like how you guys just jump right over Cleveland. Cleveland's only lost 3 games. They're a much better team. I told you Baker Mayfield can play. Everybody, Baker Mayfield is a great player. Listen, he makes great decisions. You see how beautiful his wife is. He's making all the commercial. That is a natural born leader. He's playing with fire. Cleveland Browns can run the football. You like to run the football. They got 2 running backs that's going to go over 100 yards each, 1,000 yards each.
Second half against the Titans, they put up a whole 3 points. So you're telling me that that's a great leader, that's a great quarterback, and he can produce.
Can I say something? I'm at a
You haven't stopped.
I'm at Three Rivers Stadium.
When?
Johnny Unitas is playing for the San Diego Chargers.
What year?
The Pittsburgh Steelers are up big by about 5 touchdowns. San Diego benches Johnny Unitas. Everybody leaves the stadium because the Steelers is winning so bad. They put in some unknown rookie quarterback from Oregon named Dan Fouts. Fouts comes in the game, and in the 4th quarter, Chuck Noll had to put his starters back in because Fouts almost won the football game against the greatest team of all time. Now, Fouts turned out to be one of the greatest of all time, but it happens sometimes. That's just a learning. That's how you learn. But I tell you what, Cleveland's not going to lose it.
Remember my words here. Baker Mayfield and Vinny Testaverde.
Whoa.
Shorter version
Don't
of him.
say that.
Whoa.
Shorter version of him.
But here's how you know your Super Bowl. Here's how you know who's going to win the world championship.
Okay.
It's what Kobe has to. Kobe's deciding it. The Lakers. The Dodgers, LA team. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. in LA with the gloves. And now, is it the Los Angeles Rams? They're playing good. Is Kobe a Rams fan? Everybody from LA has won the world championship since Kobe passed away.
With the exception of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Nobody cares about hockey.
And what about the
Nobody
LA?
cares about hockey.
What about
you know it. What, you going to say soccer next?
No.
Who won the soccer championship?
LA Chargers. What about the LA Chargers?
Huh?
What are they doing?
The
LA Chargers.
There's only one team can win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So maybe the Rams is hot right now. They're hot. Is Kobe pulling the strings? I'm just saying.
I have one question.
It's worth betting
Are
on.
you betting on them?
He's worth betting on.
Bet the opposite.
I'm trying to get you guys to co-sign, man.
Bet.
Connor already gave me the nod. Like, go ahead and put it down, man.
No. If you don't start betting, don't ever do it. And if you're going to bet, which I may bet, who do you like against L.A.?
I think the Chiefs versus
I'll
LA.
take the Chiefs. What did I say when I walked in, Connor?
But I ain't going to count out Baker Mayfield.
Who do you like tonight? Do you like
Dallas.
the Ravens?
Dallas. I like Dallas.
You know what's going to happen? McCarthy's going to crap out the rest of the year. He's going to get
He
fired.
should be coaching us.
He's going to
Coaching who?
The Steelers. I would love that.
He's going to get fired for the second time.
You're unbelievable.
He got 115 wins. You guys are
Yeah,
disrespecting
we're
him.
disrespecting because our coach only has almost 150.
Yeah, and McCarthy beat him in the Super Bowl
Yeah.
with the inferior team.
And McCarthy got fired.
That's
by his
because
quarterback.
Aaron
By his
Rodgers.
quarterback.
Ben would fire Mike Tomlin too if Mike Tomlin didn't do everything Ben said.
No, come on. Where do you get this? Sorry, folks, we're rambling a little bit, but I just want to share Smokin' Jim's theory on the Browns last year. Beginning of last year's season, he was all in on the Browns, and we kept saying it's on paper, and he said they're going to the Super Bowl then. Towards the middle of the season, he said they'll go to the playoffs. The last few games, you didn't hear a word about the Browns. I say the mistake by the lake strikes again.
You got to be impressed with the record, 9-3.
I am.
I'm not impressed.
I think the Steelers are a wild card team, don't you?
No. Steelers are going to win the division. And actually, they're going to lock it up this weekend because they're going to beat the Bills and Cleveland's going to choke.
Did you hear what the Cleveland players said?
No.
The Steelers opened the door. The Steelers opened the door.
You know what?
They tweeted that.
Yeah,
Well, we're running out of time.
Let's not forget, there's still Cleveland.
We're running out of time with Smokin' Jim bringing up tweets now. You don't even have to bring up tweets because I don't believe the veracity of tweets. And look that up in your Funkin' Wagnalls, Smokin' Jim. Check veracity. And you used to be an honest man. Right now you're over the edge. But we appreciate and respect your opinions. We just disagree. That's all. And thanks all of you for watching our show. And please stay Joey strong.